exhibition of contemporary art in Canterbury. It's a major exhibition spread throughout the Robert McDougall Gallery and the Art Annex in the Arts Centre. The 58 exhibits include everything from painting to sculpture, photography to printmaking. All the exhibits were produced by artists living and working in Canterbury during 1992. The artists are themselves a cross-section of ability and approach.
It's 58 artists and it's a good representative selection of people working in Canterbury. It doesn't include them all, and we couldn't do that, unfortunately. But what it does do is has quite a wide age range in the people involved in it. It's more than 50 years probably involved, from the oldest to the youngest. So as well as having very senior established people with national and international reputations as artists, it's got younger people as well, just maybe starting out with a national profile, just starting to emerge as artists.
The artists were given no set brief, just asked to loan one piece of work for the exhibition. Without a uniting theme for the artworks, deciding how to arrange and display them proved to be a real challenge for the curators.
We spent a lot of time just working out where exactly things could go, because the difficulty was that there were 58 people involved, one work from each person, and completely different works. And it was very hard to bring those together in groups that would look nice as an exhibition, but at the same time pointed out the differences between each work, the individuality of each artist. So we divided them roughly into about 5 or 6 subcategories, which are not hard and fast categories, but just things that seem to work together nicely. So there's different areas in the McDougall which have almost like little separate exhibitions within the big exhibition, plus the exhibition's also installed at the McDougall Art Annex in the Arts Centre. The first 2 bays in the exhibition are a sort of loose group of artists. On the whole, they're younger artists, and they're involved with what we've sort of described as enigmatic objects, in that they're telling stories in their work to some extent, which really the viewer has to decipher. They set up groupings of objects and placements, and there's obviously lots of interrelationships going on between perhaps the figures or the objects they've portrayed, but we're not quite certain what they are, so the viewer has to spend a bit of time with these works, just trying to decipher what they're about. And I think what they're about will differ from person to person. Well, in this long gallery at McDougall, we've put most of the figurative paintings together. A figurative painting is one that depicts the human figure, largely a body, a representation of something in the real world. And so we put all these works together, but they're very different in scope, from quite academic portrait painting to very loose expressionistic imagery, sort of very gestural brushwork, to portrayals of specific people, portraits, to images that are taken from people's lives and deal with their everyday life, or perhaps describe a psychological state of mind. So although they've all got people in, they're all very different works. The works in this gallery deal with a few things. Primarily they deal with space, with interior or exterior space. So we've got sculpture, paintings, printmakings and drawings in here. There's a sort of Italian feel to a few of the works in here, where the artist has used classical statuary, has taken photographs in one case in Italy, has used motifs that you commonly associate with Italian architecture. Other artists have looked at landscape in the sort of feel between internal space and external space, looking from inside a room to the vistas that one can see outside. In this room are works by 3 artists. The work we're looking at in the middle here is by Mark Lander, and again he's a local artist. He hand makes the flax paper, you can see, and paints it with natural pigments that he gathers from the local region, mainly from the Port Hills, and the stones and pigments around the bottom are all gathered locally too. And it's an interesting work. It's the only work in the show that you can actually touch. You can move among it, and the tendrils of paper start moving with you, and the whole work takes on a new form as you interact with it.
Prospect Canterbury 92 is more, however, than just an intriguing and visually exciting exhibition. It's a significant visual record of Canterbury artists and their artwork.
It's the first exhibition for over a decade that has really surveyed in a comprehensive manner contemporary art produced locally. It brings together an enormous variety of practice from the very younger people working in quite an unconventional manner to perhaps the more traditional or conventional work of some other artists, to the work of the senior artists. So it encompasses the whole range of practice. And in a way, it's almost like a benchmark of what was happening in Canterbury in the art scene this year.